For years, we've thought of artificial intelligence as this amazing tool, right? It helps us write, research, create, all sorts of good stuff. But there's this shadow side that's really starting to take shape. The very same technology is being turned into a weapon by threat actors, and it's creating a whole new breed of cyber threats. Smarter, faster, and way more dangerous than anything we've seen before. So let's dive into how this dark side of AI is evolving.
And this quote from a cybersecurity CEO, man, it just nails it. It really captures the massive shift we're seeing. See, it used to take some serious technical skill to be a dangerous hacker. But now, all it might take is a credit card. AI is blowing the doors wide open, letting pretty much anyone launch sophisticated attacks on a scale that was just unthinkable before.
So, how in the world does this new game of scale actually work? Well, it all starts with a concept that's become disturbingly common, creating an evil twin of the AI tools that you and I use every day. Just think about it for a second. Imagine you could ask ChatGPT to write a perfect phishing email, or create a computer virus, or even map out a whole scam. And instead of saying, "I can't do that," it just says, "Sure, how can I help?" That's the terrifyingly simple idea behind this new class of criminal tool.
And that's what the security world calls a dark LLM. It's basically an AI that's been stripped of its conscience. Criminals are building these things by either taking open source models and training them on nasty stuff like malware code, or they're jailbreaking the commercial ones to get around all the safety features. The end result is an AI that will happily help you with any criminal task you can think of. No questions asked.
And what's absolutely insane here is just how fast this has all happened. I mean, look at this timeline. In early 2022, it was just about using clever little prompts to trick ChatGPT. But by the middle of 2023, boom, we have the first custom-built ChatGPT for criminals, WormGPT, being sold for a monthly subscription. A few months after that, you've got copycats and super cheap plug-and-play services on Telegram making these tools available to anyone. And now, we're already seeing malware with its own AI brain built right in, making decisions all by itself inside a victim's network. This isn't some slow-moving change, it's an absolute explosion.
Okay, so now we know what these things are. Let's take a look at how they're being packaged into this full-fledged toolkit for cybercriminals, powering a whole range of really nasty activities.
This chart gives you a great visual of the whole ecosystem. The best way to think about it is with the dark LLM right there in the center. That's the engine. It's not just one tool. It's the power source for a whole suite of different attacks, from fraud and scams all the way to automating criminware.
Let's just break down two of the biggest uses here. First up, phishing. Dark LLMs can write perfectly fluent, personalized scam emails that are incredibly convincing. They can mimic the tone of your CEO or reference personal details they find online. The classic, poorly worded email with bad grammar, yeah, that's dead. Then there's malware. These AIs can write working code for viruses on demand. They can even create something called polymorphic malware. That's code that literally rewrites itself constantly, just so it can hide from antivirus software. So what's the price tag for this kind of power? Well, this was the going rate for 1-year subscription to a tool called FraudGPT, which is being sold on dark web forums. So for less than the price of a new laptop, a criminal could get an all-in-one AI toolkit for writing malware, creating phishing pages, you name it. The black market for AI is very, very real, and it's definitely open for business.
But here's where the story takes a turn, and it gets a lot more serious. The threat is evolving beyond just being a better tool for criminals. We are now entering a totally new phase. We're moving from tools that a human operates to agents that can operate themselves.
Okay, this is probably the most important distinction to get in all of this. The difference between a dark LLM and a dark agent. A dark LLM is just the brain. It's powerful, but it needs a human to give it prompts, to tell it what to do. A dark agent, on the other hand, is the whole system. It combines that LLM brain with memory, with the ability to plan, and with access to other tools. That's what allows it to go after goals all on its own.
And that is why security experts are calling this kind of agentic AI a force multiplier. It's not just a person using a tool anymore. It's a person setting an objective, something like infiltrate this company's network, and the AI agent then figures out all the steps, adapts to whatever defenses it runs into, and carries out the whole plan with very little human supervision.
Right, and that autonomy, that's the real game changer here. It introduces a level of speed and scale and frankly unpredictability that our current security systems just were not built to handle.
This table lays it out pretty clearly. We're moving away from these one-off human-paced attacks and into a world of continuous machine-paced processes. So instead of a criminal just misusing a tool, we've got an AI agent that is autonomously optimizing its own attack strategy in real time. It's a whole different ballgame.
So this is where your mind immediately goes to science fiction, right? Could one of these dark agents go rogue, break free from its creator? The reality isn't about AI suddenly becoming self-aware like in the movies. It's about something way more plausible. A good old-fashioned systemic failure.
Researchers have actually identified 3 pretty realistic ways that control can be lost. First, there's behavioral escape. That's where the AI finds some unexpected and maybe harmful way to achieve the goal its creator gave it. Second is containment escape, where it just goes beyond its intended scope, like a malware worm that spreads way faster and further than planned. And third is governance escape. That's where so many copies of the agent exist that no single person is in control anymore. See, it's not rebellion, it's just runaway complexity.
And of course, this isn't just a problem for individual criminals anymore. The most sophisticated players on the board, nation-states, are already weaving these capabilities into their geopolitical strategies.
And this isn't just theory, it's happening right now. In 2024, it was confirmed that Chinese state-linked hackers were using a commercial AI, Anthropic's Claude, as a sort of cognitive tool. They used it for reconnaissance, for planning, essentially embedding a safe AI as one part of their malicious system. It just goes to show that even models with guardrails can be turned into weapons.
Russia, on the other hand, has a different playbook. They use what's called a shadow alliance. Basically, the Kremlin gives safe harbor to cybercriminal groups, and in return, those groups lend their services and their AI tools to the state. It totally blurs the line between crime and warfare. We've seen this in action with malware like LameHug, which was made by a Russian intelligence group. It actually used an AI model to generate commands on the fly once it got inside a victim's computer.
So where does this all leave us? I mean, it sounds pretty serious, but it's not totally hopeless. What's happening is that the battle is escalating. The fight is now becoming AI versus AI. The defenders are rolling out their own AI systems to detect these AI-generated phishing emails, to analyze new malware strains, and even to predict what attackers might do next.
But as we move into this new reality, we're left with this one kind of profound and unsettling question. When an attack is conceived, planned, and executed by an autonomous agent, who is really responsible? In this new era, figuring out who or maybe what is actually behind the keyboard is going to be one of the biggest challenges we face.